What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here. Welcome to Fightful. It is December 10th, 2025. I will be joined shortly by Alex Pawlowski. We're going to be here for your AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming review. Man, a loaded show, and one that, quite frankly, had some unbelievable stuff on it. Just next level stuff on it. And I just thought they knocked it out of the park tonight, especially with the Continental Classic. Just incredible. Not much more I can say until we get to the actual matches, but leave a super chat, leave a humper chat if you are here watching this show. Wherever the platform may be, you can send in a humper chat at humperchats.com. You can send a super chat if you're watching on youtube.com/Fightful. Dropped an interview with Joe Alonzo this week. Have one with Sol Ruca coming up ahead of Saturday night's main event. A gentleman that knows Sol Ruca's work pretty well is Alex Pawlowski, as he covers her work every Tuesday on NXT.
I do.
Alex, how you doing?
I'm feeling very festive. Great episode of Dynamite.
Insane in-ring episode of Dynamite.
So
on
yeah,
top of that.
a lot of fun.
Just unbelievable in-ring episode of Dynamite. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, I do want to say this. FightfulSelect.com, in addition to having an LA Knight report up today, in addition to having WrestleVotes Radio tomorrow and a bonus WrestleVotes Radio this week, I did something a little bit different today, and I sort of crowdsourced some notes from our subscribers as well on things and like just topics they brought up throughout this. And of course, we have our great moderator, Luis, but a gentleman who we've reported on quite a bit and actually accepted a Fightful award, Stephen Borden. Wrestled ahead of AEW tonight. And this is good news, Alex. Like, he seems like a lovely gentleman, and he's been working the same guy, Kieran Gray. They actually have another match set up pretty soon. I'm very happy to see this. I felt, honorary Lexington guy as he went to the University of Kentucky. How you feeling about this?
I mean, I'm all for it as long as he bills himself as El Hijo del Sting.
Yes.
Then 100% in.
I love it. Just a wonderful gentleman. Got a lot of buzz, the fact that he was there and the fact that he's wrestling in general. I'm excited about this. I like this. I think it's the right thing. I think he's clearly an athlete who played at a Division I school. I'm all in on this one.
Right.
Or I guess you could say we're Allen on this one. Because Darby's his traitor.
Well, there you go.
Meet Normus says, shout out to Hotlanta. This crowd was lit all night. I know there was a big push last year, specifically to run like WNBA venues, because the NBA venues were, big and dark and cavernous and empty and all those things. And it was not tonight. The crowd was hot all night long. They had a legit sellout to the point to where Fightful Select had reported that there was an internal memo that went out that said, hey, no comps for this show, which isn't something that happens often with AEW. And quite frankly, just bringing it to these more like intimate environments has added an awful lot. And I thought this show was a great example of that, Alex.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the crowd was hot all night. You're right. It did not feel like they were in some kind of giant cave. It felt, but also didn't feel like super intimate. Like they were doing it in some tiny little thing. Like it felt like, why? Because it was sold out. That's always going to make it feel like it's a better show.
Continental Classic on display tonight, big time. But Blind Roar says, great crowd, great show. Thank you, Hotlanta. Best Dynamite since Spring Breakthrough. In ring, listen, I can't remember the week-to-week lineups like I used to. Right. But they delivered tonight. They made Jack Perry and Okada and Speedball and Kyle Fletcher feel as big as it could possibly feel on this show. And I think that goes a long way. It's very important. And Eloquent says, I've seen enough. Give Atlanta a pay-per-view. They earned it. I think that'd be a great idea, Alex. I'd be happy to fly down to Atlanta.
Yes.
Cover a pay-per-view for something like that, especially with an audience like this. Where do you land on that one? Atlanta get PPV.
I mean, why not? The thing about AEW is they used to have like their places where they would do the shows. Like Chicago got at least one every year. Seattle for a while was the Wrestle Dream spot, but they broke away from that this time. But it was in St. Louis, which is where they did Dynasty, I think the year before. They've done a few in Los Angeles, I believe. They love the Carolinas. Move it around. Find as many different new places as possible to do this. I mean, you can, if you find the right size venue, feel like you can bring in the people, do it as many different places as possible. I feel like it's not that the AEW fan base is not entirely localized to 4 places in America.
Yeah.
You can go to a lot of different places and draw a crowd. And
next week, we're going to see them draw a crowd elsewhere, overseas, which is going to be very, very nice. Women's tag team titles. This was a pleasant surprise to me. Not in the match quality. I figured it would be a good match. I assumed as much. They got quite a bit of time as well. This was for a Dynamite Winter is Coming, of which I expected to not start our post show until 10:35 Eastern.
Right.
It ended at like 10:15.
Yeah.
And it felt like there was more wrestling on it than any show in recent memory. Yeah. And it kicked off with the women's tag team titles. The Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron defeating the Timeless Love Bombs. I thought they were going to go Timeless Love Bombs. I'm pleasantly surprised that Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale end up winning this. How did you feel about the result itself?
I mean, I'm torn because I love Willow and I love Harley.
Sure.
But I don't know if I love them together.
Sure.
I like them together, but I don't know if I love them together. I know I love Willow by herself, and I know I love Willow with a certain other person, with Statlander. And obviously she's not available right now. She's doing other stuff. And I love Harley. Harley can fit in with anybody. I'm super happy for both of them that they are the inaugural women's tag champs. And I liked this match very much. But if I think to myself, would I be more like satisfied with the victor if it went to Toni Storm and Mina? No, not necessarily. You know what I mean? Like it's a very good choice. I think that it's a really cool thing to be able to look back in 10 years and say that Willow and Harley were the first ever women's tag team champions. And you can't say they didn't get put through their paces on the way here, because they did. Like, they had to beat Mercedes and Athena in a huge upset. Let's be very honest about that. You don't put Athena and Mercedes together in a tag tournament to have them lose in the first round. When they got put in there and the draw was, I'm sorry, Willow, I'm sorry, Harley, you're going out in the first round. You could see that, and yet they booked them to win in the big upset, and they went on and they won. And this is all great. I don't have like I was really rooting for Tag Team X to win. I don't have that. And this is really good. This is really good. But to me, I'm like, I just look at them and go, I know they're doing the whole, we should have been a tag team a long time ago because we're perfect for each other. But I can't get over the fact in some part of my brain that, like, you put them together for the tournament. They were not at all together at all before the tournament. Now they are for the tournament, and they won the tournament. I I prize in tag teams. One of the things I look at is how long you've been wrestling as a team. You know what I mean? And I prize that very highly in my assessment of the tag teams that I root for. And they decided to find each other. And credit to them, by the end of the tournament, it really felt like they had been working together for a very long time. And
yes, I mean,
good thing.
Like both teams have, and I mean, Mina and Toni have felt that way as well. Because I mean, they had the association because of Mariah May.
Yeah.
Like that was the link there. Yeah. And now you've got a team that feels like a team.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see where things sort of align. We're seeing this in both the top companies right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of stock and a lot of resources are being given to the tag team division, and I'm waiting to see how those are reallocated to the world title division, respectively. Because I mean, Mercedes ain't going to challenge for the world title again. We sure hope Nikki Bella isn't challenging for the world title again. So we want to see. I will say, it popped me huge how Raquel just said no. That was good.
I do think that's going to be a triple threat, but I'm
oh God,
I'm willing to be proven wrong. Please prove me wrong, Triple H.
Oh brother,
but I believe that will be a triple threat.
The crowd was split here, and when she hit that doctor bomb and got the win, I was like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah, the one thing about the match that because everything else about it was tremendous. One thing I didn't love was that they really protected Toni by keeping her away from the last minute and a half of the finish. Like, we're gonna pin Mina. So we're gonna have Toni take a nap after taking a simple suplex on the outside. Like, she was unconscious when they lost the titles. And I would have liked to have seen her been somewhat more involved in the loss, not necessarily being pinned for it, but being somewhat more involved in it. But I loved the counter from Harley into that's her finishing move. I loved that counter. Willow hitting the doctor bomb's always going to get a big pop. This was very good, and also love the sportswomanship. I loved the sportswomanship at the end of the match where Toni and Mina both got in the ring to shake hands. I thought that was great. And the post-match interview was so wonderful to see. Like, you could tell how much this means to Harley because of I think that Harley owes it to society to stop wrestling and start trying to find a cure for cancer. Because if everything else that she has done is anything to go by, she's going to figure it out in 6 months because she's a ventriloquist and all this other stuff. And then she decides, maybe I'll try pro wrestling. And in like a year, she's this good. What could happen if you put her in charge of a cure for cancer? I think she nails it, probably.
Ricardo Holt says, Babes of Wrath. Babes of Wrath. And Meet Norman says, the ladies killed it tonight. Congrats to Willow and Harley. Harley is my vote for most improved. Toni and Mina will hold those belts at some point. Well, we don't have most improved, but Harley did win funniest of the year in the Fightful Awards last year, Alex. Not only tied with Chelsea Green, we did a revote and they tied again. And I said, okay, this is too perfect. We got to do both of them.
Yeah.
But right now, voting is open for Fightful Select subscribers, and it's open-ended. And we are going to do free votes, but here's the catch. They're weighted a little bit less than Fightful subscribers, but Fightful subscribers get to vote again as well. Those will kick off immediately after John Cena's final match. They will carry through December 31st.
Cool.
Gonna be an interesting year. But good for Harley. Good for Willow. I am so excited just to see them emerge and become champions. And I hope this tag team division is given the appropriate care and given the appropriate time and just given the attention that it deserves. Just like I have been giving
Yes.
NordVPN.com/Fightful, the appropriate attention, Alex. And I'm going to tell people how you can give it a little bit more attention on Saturday. I know a lot of you, quite frankly, canceled your Peacock. Well, did you know that it's on YouTube for free outside the US? Yeah, it is. NordVPN.com/Fightful. Get that subscription. Averages out to $2.88 a month when you get a two-year plus 4-month plan. It's got a 30-day money-back guarantee. You get the app, any device, phone, desktop, laptop, PC, router, whatever, any operating system. Change your virtual location to anywhere else, log on to YouTube, bam, there it is. Saturday night's main event. You get to watch John Cena's final match on YouTube, and then you can just easily navigate over to this Fightful YouTube and watch my post show immediately afterwards. Somebody says Peacock is free outside the US. What have I been doing? No. It's on YouTube outside the US. Got a lot of great content that you can access when you just change your geographical location. And that's not all from NordVPN.com/Fightful. They've got everything from cloud storage to spam call protection. Just a ton of stuff. NordVPN.com/Fightful. Go over there, get their great deal, see their incredible testimonials that they have available, and help you avoid Peacock. Well, we're not going to be talking about Peacock here, but we're talking about somebody getting decocked here. As Jack Perry bit Okada's penis.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right in the penis, as you used to say.
Bit him right in the penis. He did.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see that spot coming. You got to have a little bit of a sense of humor about yourself to be able to do a spot like that, of which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a tombstone attempt.
Mm-hmm.
And Okada's facial expressions were really great because listen, you got to have a good sense of humor to take the move as well.
Yes.
Jack Perry was inserted, no pun intended, into this as a replacement for Darby Allin and had pretty well just moved on past his singles run.
Mm-hmm.
And then ends up having one of the biggest reactions for a singles match he has ever had in his entire career tonight.
Yeah.
Crowd was all into it. He sold me a ticket on his ankle. I thought for sure his ankle was messed up. I thought his foot was messed up. Initially, I'm like, why is he rotating it like that? Like, that's not going to help. But he sold it so much that I bought it. Okada absolutely walloped him with a Rainmaker. I mean, just destroyed him with the Rainmaker. Crowd was super into the match. Let's talk about the match itself, Alex. How'd you feel about this?
I mean, good for Jack Perry. You know what I mean? Like, I was one of the people who was, saying that I thought his in-ring work during his TNT title run was really solid. Like, really solid. I loved him doing that running knee. We saw him hit that on Okada tonight with a lot of snap on it. He's really, really good. And he proved it again tonight. Like and then Callis put him over saying, I don't think I've ever seen Okada have to work that hard for a victory. Like he was great. He was great tonight. Obviously you're the reporter and I'm just the idiot in a Santa hat, but, the weird thing that we were talking about last week where Darby Allin is in the hospital. We happen to have put a hidden camera in the light fixture above his bed, and we're going to go to that now live. And we were like, what the hell I've never seen anybody like do a hidden camera in the ceiling of a guy's hospital room before. And so at that point, I was sure the whole thing was a work. And then on Saturday, like he's not cleared. He has to be pulled out of the thing. And then he cuts a promo on a rooftop about how, oh yeah, sure, protect Darby from Darby. I'm like, well, yeah, they probably should. If you're really injured, you shouldn't be wrestling. So this all of this have felt very hinky. But I think the best part of this is that we're gonna get to see Jack Perry do some really good work. And I don't know. I'm fairly certain Darby wasn't gonna go winless in the gold division.
Yeah.
So if you're just gonna pencil in Jack Perry wherever Darby was gonna win, Jack Perry's gonna pull out a couple of victories here.
So
Probably.
somebody was just telling me when the Shelton Speedball thing happened, because I was big on the, just call it as a shoot, and they're like if that were the Continental Classic, they're like, that would cause major problems. They're like, it's meticulously planned.
Yeah.
And it could cause real issues for how everything else unfolds. So that's why we just don't do things like that. And I go, okay, yeah, that's I guess a fair point. But yeah, I thought that, I mean, they definitely played up the severity. It's not nearly like, what they indicated it would be, or how bad it would be, I don't think, but bad enough to pull him from the tournament. So Blind says the advanced form of the old PP twist. Damn censorship. The dick twist. Can you watch AMC with Nord? Listen, I don't know all of TNA's international TV deals, but I'm sure there's a way. We'll look into it for you. We will definitely look into it for you. Another thing that I loved, Alex, the Renee Paquette insights from ringside. Yeah. So this is something very common in the UFC. They got these great shots, they pan out, and you got Megan O'Leary, who is an honest to God broadcast journalist who goes and talks to all of these people beforehand, and she does her work. She was a broadcaster well before UFC. And I think that doing this with Renee is awesome. She has credibility. She's got, she maintains respect and all that. Like, people listen to her. Really, really like this.
I like it a lot. I think Renee has got a lot of gravitas. As that sideline reporter, you believe her when she says something like, I talked to so-and-so earlier today, and they said blah, blah, blah. My favorite, though, is whenever she does that with Jon Moxley. I talked to Jon Moxley earlier today as he was eating his cornflakes over breakfast. Like you have what you can't do. I talked to Jon Moxley earlier today. I mean, when did you because that could be any time. You talk. Of course, I would hope you talked to your husband earlier today. He is your husband. Are you giving him the silent treatment? That made me laugh when I heard it to do that one. But I really like it too. I think it adds a really cool flair to the whole. Instead of just being like, here with me is blank. So what's next for you? Like this really feels like she's doing a journalism, which is really important because that's what I feel like when I watch Renee Paquette.
Afterwards, Don Callis makes an attempt to recruit Jack Perry after the impressive performance that he put on. He was like, honestly, Okada hasn't had that kind of fight in quite a while. And quite frankly, I want you as a part of my team. And I would like to offer you the Young Bucks money to do it. And Jack Perry's like, crazy me getting into this situation again, and then jumps everybody. They attack him. Luchasaurus makes the save, running like an actual dinosaur. And then the Young Bucks make the save. Baby faces stand tall. Later on, we have it set. It is a trios tag match for all the money next week. And the Young Bucks court Luchasaurus, who says, no. Him.
Well, he grunts. He does. They go, what do you say, big man? And he goes,
yes, that.
And he doesn't even really look anywhere. He just points at a door that says Kenny Omega. And they go, you know what? You're right. That's a good call. Good call.
Don't know why they wouldn't ask him to begin with. Like,
Oh, that was funny.
Why wouldn't they just ask him to begin with, Alex?
Good stuff.
I don't get it. I don't know why they wouldn't have just went straight to him.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, you go to Kenny, sure, but it's ostensibly defending the honor of Jack Perry.
Fair.
Who got his absolute dog piss beat out of him. So, like, you know,
like they're trying to get their money more than anything.
Of course they are, but like, also, I don't know which guys that Don Callis is going to send in there. He could pick any three of his dudes, and a lot of them are very large. So you might want like somebody Luchasaurus's size to counteract, I don't know, Hechicero or Lance Archer. You know, like you might want that. So this makes some kind of sense, but obviously it ended up the right way. The elite reuniting. I love Kenny Omega says, you two guys can split the money. I'll do it for free. I just want to get back at Don Callis. That's really good stuff.
Eloquent says more Renee ringside reporting. I agree, Eloquent. Mm-hmm. And we got some nice ones here. Referee says, I bet Okada was the one to suggest it to the dong spot for sure.
Yeah.
Brian more or less says Jack Perry putting the chew in Blue Chew. Brian, I got to use that as a segue. C. Delgado says Jack with the post-Thanksgiving serving of yam bags. Love it. Backstage, Babes of Wrath and the conglomeration, Roddy will still not join in. He's still not happy to be a part of this.
No, not at all.
And yeah. Also, Blind Roar says, think the first time I saw Harley was the Party music video. I think that she trained at Flatback, so that's probably why that happened. Because that makes a lot of sense. Death Rider segment. Oh boy, did I love this. I specifically loved Jon Moxley. Listen, I'm a Bengals fan. I got to deal with people saying, why are they bringing Burrow back? The season's over. Because he's getting paid $50 million a year and he likes to play football. Sure. That's why. Yeah. And Jon Moxley said, if the circumstances have to be good for you to try, then you suck. I think you could apply that to many positions in life. I love that. And then Daniel Garcia kind of jumped in.
Kind of interrupted. Kind of been like, okay, loser. We don't need to hear from you anymore. Like, Silencio, old man. Like
it was.
It really felt like that. Yeah, we will see if the Death Riders as a whole, because a lot of them are riding. I mean, Claudio's doing pretty well for himself, but he lost his last match.
Yeah,
I mean, Pac won one, lost one. I don't know when the last time Yuta's been victorious. Marina and Megan didn't make it to the finals of the tag team tournament. Like, all the Death Riders are not necessarily on hot streaks. So if Danny Garcia goes out there and lays an egg against Briscoe, well, then none of them have a whole lot of legs to stand on.
Well, they've got two each.
I mean, I guess the implication is that the legs are very strong because of the losses. But yeah, I get it.
Tom LaValle says Booker of the Year drop down for the Fightful Award should look like the same as it does for Mystery Wrestling. Just saying. I don't know what that means, but Evil Uno got votes. He got quite a few votes. Mercedes video package. I like this. She's not on this week. Give her a little video package. I thought it was a good video package as well. More of these.
Yeah, this was cool. Like, letting people know who might have missed all that ROH stuff. She lost one of her titles. She is not handling it well. The downfall is beginning. Everyone who watches like Dynamite and watches Mercedes knows that eventually she's going to start dropping those titles. And when she does, look out, because she's going to go insane. And the first one she dropped was an ROH title at an ROH show. And people who watch Dynamite might not be super aware of that fact. So putting this little video package together is really beneficial to help tell that story to Dynamite viewers.
Oh, people are saying that Uno was the only option. That is fantastic. Triangle of Madness backstage segment where Chris Statlander just assaults
all by
them.
herself.
Just assaults them. She was like, I don't need anybody else. I'll just go ahead. Yeah. And Brian more or less says, have to say you guys were right. Her losing the TBS title last was the right choice. And I mean, she and Red Velvet had an insane match. Like very, very good match. But between the Mercedes stuff and the Triangle of Madness with Statlander, anything on that one?
You know, this. I guess this is a good point to bring this up because I've been looking ahead at the schedule for AEW, and to me it feels crazy that their go home Dynamite for World's End is a taped show that airs on Christmas Eve. That's all everything for the rest. They're either overseas or it's a special edition 3 hour. It's overseas and it's 3 hours long. Or this collision is taped. They're taping the Dynamite before the collision, but the Dynamite is airing after the collision. There is so many ways middle things can get mixed up wrong along the path to a major show, like a major pay-per-view. So it looks to me like somewhere in the next few weeks, it's going to boil down to probably Stat versus Jamie Hayter versus Tekla in a triple threat. Obviously, we can't do that just yet because her and Stat have to be partners next week. But I think that's where this whole thing begins. And that's really cool to like think about how you're going to have to manage the storytelling of this in a really hard, the difficulty is cranked up to like 9.5 to figure out how to put all this stuff together over the holidays with taped shows and shows overseas and all this kind of stuff. And then after the main event tonight, and we got to see where we're going to go with Joe's title defense. There's also a guy lurking around who hasn't appeared on TV yet, but carries with him a thing that says, as long as I tell you 1 week ahead of time, I get a title match. So like there's that possibility as well. I love all the possibilities that are going around right now with AEW.
Yep, they're keeping it very open-ended and leaving a lot of opportunity out there right now. And I think that's the right move.
Yeah.
We have the Mark Briscoe in-ring interview. He tells all the haters to kiss his big white ass, of which conjures up a big white ass chant on top of that. They are interrupted by Wheeler Yuta and the Death Riders. And Mark Briscoe says that if Daniel Garcia wants to jump, he can make a move, but he's got an ass whooping coming to him in Cardiff. Garcia did try to swing at Briscoe, but Yuta and Marina Shafir held him back. Alex.
My question is, why?
Yeah.
Why didn't Wheeler Yuta and Marina help Danny Garcia beat the piss out of Mark Briscoe? Why were they holding him back? I didn't I didn't hear if there was a if you touch Mark Briscoe, your title match is off. I didn't hear that. I don't know why they were holding him back instead of joining in a 3-on-1 beatdown on Mark Briscoe. I didn't get that. But it just shows that Danny Garcia really wants to beat up Mark Briscoe, which I guess is beneficial to his case. But
man, as that happened, I was like, that's weird. Didn't really think about it that much. And now I'm like, that has been like the opposite of the Death Riders' whole thing.
Like their whole thing is the bunch of us gang up on you. And this time it was like, no, I can't do it.
I'm trying to help you all gang up on some odds. My bookie. If you're watching a show on Fightful, you're probably an educated wrestling fan. You probably see where the storylines are going. No, you think you know who's going to win the matches and all that stuff, but listen, you want to add some additional intrigue to it. My Bookie AG allows you to bet on pro wrestling and MMA and boxing, everything that we cover at Fightful. But we also do a little bit of gaming at Fightful. You like esports? My Bookie AG has you covered. Get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200 with the link in our description below. But you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. And you can score up to a 100 bet back bonus up to $500 if you're a new customer of My Bookie AG. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. They have the best support system in the business. But whether it be sports, esports, wrestling, casino games, or the Oscars, My Bookie AG is where you can go to bet on it. My Bookie AG placed some bets today, actually. Quite a few. I'll show those to you guys on my Common Mingles W Twitter throughout the weekend. My God, man. Swerve and Hangman against the Ops. I like Swerve's new theme. I like the new presentation. I like Hangman and Swerve coming outside, coming from the crowd, men of the people. Swerve's offense of late has seemed very like action movie coded. Like it looks like he took things from action movies and was like, I'll do those and look really cool and all that.
Yes.
But an interesting note from our Discord. Someone says Swerve and Hangman did not look at each other in the eye despite teaming up. And the tornado tag meant no tag, so they won't have to interact as much, even via tag. Alex, how did you feel about, especially because they started off away from each other as well?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
That was an interesting thing that they brought up there.
Yeah.
So these two, and what did I think Swerve said? Same dance, different circumstances this past weekend. And I was like, that's a quite the approach. These two finally teaming up to just go after the Ops, with Hangman very clearly and loudly stating the AEW World Championship is still the most important thing to me. This is a means to the end.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it, Alex?
Like, I loved the match. Like, I loved all the extracurriculars outside on the concourse, in the stands. I loved one poor security guy gets ends up getting Swerve gets his back and then wraps an arm around his throat and then with a staple gun is just firing staples into his kidneys just over and over and over again. Kidney staple, kidney staple, kidney staple. I was like, yikes. All that stuff with Hobbs and Hangman and then Shibata and Swerve for the longest time, and they finally make it back to ringside, and they've been killing each other with weapons and found implements and stuff, and then they get into the ring, and Adam Page brings a chair, and the referee's like, hold on now, because whatever you do outside the ring, apparently before the match starts, is nice and legal. But once the match starts, no, fisticuffs only. And Hangman looked genuinely surprised that he was not able to use this chair. That was funny. But yeah, these guys kicked the shit out of each other. This was a lot of fun. I love the moment where Hangman and Swerve met face to face, looking at each other like this is a means to an end. I don't know if I can never fully forgive you type stuff. It's great. But yeah, the buckshot into the house call is a great finishing maneuver. I love it. It is it's one of those things where I want Hangman to get his title back. I don't think that reign was long enough for him, but if he doesn't, and he and Swerve can bury the hatchet enough to be an actual tag team, ooh boy, those two guys taking the titles off FTR and like just becoming this really cool, badass, like, you know, like forged in blood type of guys. Like that would be really fun. Really fun.
Hobbs poured beer on Hangman. Hangman ended up drinking as well, which was a nice shot. Yeah. And then somebody mentioned they held that first eye to eye until the end of the match, which, woo! Josh Alexander watching the match backstage also. Listen,
I love that they are trying to pass off Josh Alexander as a guy who's just on the fringes of getting a world title shot, because he's definitely that talented. And they have given him some high profile victories in his time in AEW, but he does feel like at most the fourth most important guy in the Don Callis family. So I love him coming out and saying, Swerve, you don't deserve a title shot. If anything, I do. And I think that match between he and Swerve is going to be great. And I want to see him afterwards, after that very likely loss to Swerve. I want to see him figure out a way to get put in a place where he could pick up some victories.
Stokely, or actually, Brian more or less says, I really wanted the visual of Hangman watching the house burning part of Swerve's entrance. Oh my God. That's something that has to happen. That has to happen.
Yeah.
Ooh, my God. Stokely announces FTR versus Juice and Austin Gunn for Cardiff winter is coming. I love how he brought it up. He's like, some people here are so addicted to TV time that they will do whatever it takes to get it.
Yeah.
And we are going to feed your addiction. And it's not going to end well for you.
No.
He's like, you are not going to be able to declare the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I really love how Stokely Hathaway can go from over the top comedic to very serious like this. To a nice mix of it where he'll pepper in one line. He's a very versatile performer, Alex.
Yeah, no, this was great. We didn't even need Dax or Cash there. Just him doing this has been very, very good. And he's just a fantastic performer. And it's really cool that I just remember the Malcolm Bivens days of him managing Indu Share and being like, they are really not utilizing this guy to his full potential. They did not utilize that dude to his full potential.
Baba Tunde? Was that one of them? Baba Tunde.
They never used Malcolm Bivens to his full potential. And I'm so happy now that he has really found that here. Like he's been so good.
Remember when Triple H first took over creative and he was on fire. I was like, that's nice, guys. But also, I will always remember that he was the guy that parked Stokely Hathaway, Deonna Purrazzo, and Chelsea Green for over a year in NXT.
Yeah.
Like I'll always remember that as well.
Yeah.
Those are real things that happen. So
yeah.
But somebody, I don't know what Luis is typing, but we've got Speedball defeating Speedball Mike Bailey defeating Kyle Fletcher. This is probably my favorite Continental Classic match thus far. This match was absolutely ablaze, Alex.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of false finishes. The crowd was so into it.
Crazy false finish.
They had an unbelievable barricade spot early. Oh my God. Like let me collect myself. They did the thing that we've constantly mentioned where they bring up the time and sometimes it'll be a draw.
Yeah.
Sometimes it won't matter. Mike Bailey gets the pin And I thought both of them had won it at multiple points in this match.
Yes.
The brain buster.
Yes.
Kyle Fletcher. The spin kicks, I go, oh my God, they're giving it to Mike Bailey. And then I was like, what the hell are they going to do? And they went there, and Mike Bailey won it, and the crowd blew up. The crowd loved it, man.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. This was one of the best matches you're ever likely to see on a weekly cable television wrestling show, like ever. If you watched for 40 years straight and you use watching weekly cable wrestling TV shows, this is one of the best matches you'll ever see on one of those. It's certainly pay-per-view quality as well. This is where I have a problem with my brain, where I believe in the transitive property too much. That if this guy beat this guy, then that guy should absolutely beat that guy. And I can't get away from it. It's just the way that my brain works. So round robin tournaments where guys who are really, really good pick up like 2 victories out of 5 matches, but one of those 2 victories is against the guy who doesn't lose any other matches in the tournament, makes me go, I can't process it properly. It's my own problem. I want to see what happens with Mike Bailey with the rest of this. If Mike Bailey next week loses to Jack Perry and then draws with Kevin Knight and then loses his last match, and so he ends up with 6 points or whatever, and Kyle Fletcher goes on and wins the whole damn thing, I will always look back at this thing going if it wasn't for a story reason, I don't know why the guy who ends up being in the semifinals loses to a guy who doesn't, because I can't process that properly. I would also, just as a general rule, I would have Kyle Fletcher win all the time, never lose. But that's my thing with Kyle Fletcher. I think that guy should never lose a match. So this was amazing. But
I mean, listen, the Chicago Bulls lost 10 games.
Yeah, sure.
During the greatest season of all time.
I guess my thing is that if you get out of 72-10 in the greatest season of all time, but that's over 82 games. So, sure. But if you shrink that down to let's say 10th, I guess he would lose 1 out of 10 matches. And maybe this will be the only one that he loses. Honestly, what I would love for this to signify more is, okay, now Kyle is obsessed with getting a win back over Mike Bailey outside the Continental Classic. I want this loss to Mike Bailey, and he did a fantastic job selling the moment of, I can't believe I lost. Him completely frozen in, I can't. By the way, Mike Bailey, all the credit in the world, wrestled an amazing match, and the pinfall where he straight jacketed Kyle's arms and then put his feet over his shoulders so he physically could not get a shoulder up. Great stuff. Loved it. If you tell me this match was Mike Bailey pinning Kyle Fletcher for the TNT championship that Kyle Fletcher should still have, I would say this is the greatest thing ever. But as part of a tournament, it makes my brain go crazy.
It's a round robin tournament, brother. It ain't single elimination. So
I know.
I don't have an issue with it.
I know you don't.
I mean, this is always going to happen. In the round robin tournaments, I think that undefeated round robin runs should be very rare because of Styles making fights, just the quick turnarounds, the exhaustion that you go through in order to just continue through a tournament in general. I think that all of those play a big role in wins and losses here. And this was probably my favorite match of the tournament so far for all of those reasons. And N. Simmons says this was easily TV match of the year. Speedball wrestled his way into TNT, our national title program. This is Speedball's coming out matchup in AEW. It really was. Speedball has had really great matches, but this was one where he felt like the belle of the ball. He felt like a big star as a result of this. The crowd was reacting to him. He is truly the most likable human being in wrestling.
Sure
and I mean that with no exaggeration. He's the nicest gentleman in wrestling. He's the kindest person in wrestling. And I was very happy to see this. Ricardo Holt says Speedball gets scores over Kyle by God Fletcher. The other Mikey V says Jet Speed might be AEW signing of the year 2025. You want to talk about two hit records right there, Alex.
Amazing stuff. Amazing. The chat saying that he wrestled his way into TNT or national title program. I hope so. Yeah. I would hate for this to be like his, because again, it's a Red and Robin tournament and everything could happen. Like, and you look at the field that's still available to face Mike Bailey in the rest of the tournament. If this ends up being his only victory in the tournament, then I hope that you figure out a way for him to recapture this momentum after the tournament is over, because everyone right now is saying, justifiably so, holy shit, Mike Bailey, what an amazing match. This guy put a rocket on him. And if he goes out and has a draw with his tag team partner and then loses to Okada, like it won't matter, you know, like it will, or like just at the end, he will have a losing record in the tournament. So figure out a way to make this matter after the tournament is over. If you do that, I'm all for it.
Jordan says the absolute Dougs of the night has to go to Speedball and Fletcher. Holy, what a show tonight. I agree. They are my Douglases of the night. Meet Normus says Speedball Fletcher is a match you show people who say wrestling is fake. This was a hoot. And even though the show is sold out, I sold many tickets. I had somebody recently say, where did that phrase come from? I picked up that phrase from Shane Helms when I did a show with him, because we specifically did one about his Royal Rumble appearances. And if you go back and watch Royal Rumble 04, he looks like he got hurt. And I was like, did you get hurt? He's like, I sold you a ticket, kid. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, he did. That's where that came from. Kate says Fightful Award sponsor Meet Normus. Indeed. Yeah. Tim McFall says if I could change my men's match of the year vote in the Fightful Awards, I would change it to Speedball Kyle. Well, you can. Like, all you got to do is tell me, hit me up via DM or just this. I can change one of those. Just hit me up on select and you can change anything you want. Just because we have those open-ended does not mean they're definite. There is still 3 weeks left in the year. You can change your vote no matter what. It is not a problem. He says, sweet mother of God, what a match. Don't even mind my future boyfriend losing. What a show. This was an unbelievable show. Just incredible. Jordan says, any news or word on Keith Lee? I need the Limitless one back. I have not heard any update on that as of yet. I'm sorry. I wish that I had an update for you, but I don't. Ambitions as a Death Rider says, I won't deny it. The crowd humped tonight. Can we get double or nothing at State Farm Arena downtown? Hotlanta crowd and anarchy in the arena. Any scoops? Otherwise, SRS, LOL. They were very happy with Atlanta tonight. And you get to do a segment with Kevin Knight going to Magic City and taking Speedball to the strip club, which is a common thing. And I think it should be played into that Speedball is the most wholesome man in wrestling.
Yeah.
He's like, Magic City, I love Chris Angel. I'm a huge fan. And then he's like, no, buddy. By the way, hope you're arriving on an empty stomach because they got a buffet.
Yeah.
One of those. I think that, based on what I heard about Atlanta, they were very happy with one that they knew it was going to sell out as of yesterday. They got the notification yesterday that was going to happen. And any news on where the Hurt Syndicate have been? Lashley was not at WrestleCade, and nobody knew why. I'm working to find out more on that. But at WrestleCade, that's where they've been, by the way. That's where they were 2 weeks ago. Shelton and MVP reunited with Cedric. So the Hurt Business reunited there, which was very good. So that's where they have been. But it doesn't matter where you are, guys, when you've got Aura frames. Look at this beautiful Carver mat. I got one of these for my mom. Do you struggle to shop for Christmas? Sometimes I do. Got to find the perfect gift. Not too over the top, but certainly not too little as well. This thing lets you allows you to upload unlimited photos and videos all throughout the year from the downloaded Aura app. Connect to Wi-Fi. You're good to go. You just start to upload them and you can keep going all throughout the year. Valentine's Day, birthdays, summer vacation. You can upload special moments to this thing no matter where you are. You can add a special message before it arrives as well, straight from your phone. The gift box is included. Every frame comes packaged in that premium gift box with no price tag. And for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com and use that code FIGHTFUL. I can't tell you how important it is. Let them know in the description whenever you order it that Fightful sent you. It's auraframes.com, promo code FIGHTFUL. The deal is exclusive to listeners, and these frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. I stumbled over this. It's so sentimental to me. Lost some family members the last couple of years, so this was something that I wanted personally as a gift for my mother to be able to share memories that we had with, her father, her mother, and her brother, who we all lost in the last couple of years. And Aura Frames is the perfect way to do it. I can't tell you how many times I have been in a situation where I'm like, oh my God, I just found this new batch of pictures. And like, you can send them via cell phone, or you can share them permanently and have those memories stick with the Carver frame or the Carver mat from Aura Frames. Go to auraframes.com. Samoa Joe cuts a promo saying he's been ROH. Oh, somebody says you can troll with them too. Oh, yes. I plan on trolling with them as well. I do. Samoa Joe says he's been ROH Joe all along, but I liked the segment with Eddie. It just felt like a real interview. It felt like a legitimate interview. And he's like, I'm a little nervous. I probably need to be warming up, but I really respect you, Renee. So I'm going to be here and talk to you. This is the 50-year anniversary of Terry Funk winning the world title. And I just hope he would be proud of me. I hope I could make him proud tonight. How'd you feel about these two promos leading up to the match?
Listen, Samoa Joe standing there, being a badass. Of course, he's ROH guy all the time whenever he feels like it. Just Eddie's been like, yeah, but that ROH guy wouldn't be caught dead in a private jet, man. That's not who you were. I want that guy, and I don't want the private jet thing to make ROH Joe a little soft. So I love him, biting back. I'm always going to be ROH Joe. Eddie vulnerable is really nice. You know what I mean? Kind of like, being a little bit more soft-spoken, because the promo from Collision, where he talked more about Hook going down the wrong path. I don't want to see him end up a rat, a snake. Like man, when Eddie just pulls in some really cool modifications to the way he says words, that promo, the vignette promo he cut on Punk all those years ago was like, that I will allow you to change, Punk. He's so good at modifying his voice to fit those moments. He's just the best at that. I loved it. I love this too as a juxtaposition to those moments where he gets to be a little bit more dramatic.
We got a nasty ass exploder in this match from Eddie Kingston.
Yeah,
it was filthy. This is probably the best Eddie has looked since he's been back.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I did not expect this match to be like 13 minutes. I thought it would go a little bit longer, and I'm okay with it. Like Okada and Jack Perry, 13 minutes, fine.
Right. No,
Hangman and Swerve, 13 minutes, it was fine. This 13 minutes, it was fine. The women's tag title match, 14 minutes, that was fine. The one that got a lot of the time was Mike Bailey, Kyle Fletcher, and I like that too. I, quite frankly, thought this was a perfectly paced show because, all due respect to Eddie Kingston, Samoa Joe should be beating him at about 13 minutes. It didn't need to be about 20, 25 or anything like that. And it's not me, like, it's just the way that Eddie Kingston has been booked. I also like that Eddie Kingston had to win a match to get this match over Shibata. But, yeah, man. Samoa Joe retains, chokes out Eddie Kingston. How'd you feel about it?
I love the strong style of, like, you're not done. Get up and hit me. And then Joe hits Eddie and he goes, ah, like there's that moment of like, I probably should have just kept stomping on him while he was down, as opposed to letting him get up and then kick me in the thigh really hard, because now I've got a Charlie horse. There's just little stuff like that early in the stages of the match was great. But Eddie firing up and coming back at him, he's just such a great baby face. And I also loved the moment where he's like, okay, I'm setting him up. I'm setting him up for the back fist, the Oregon. And the story being that was Joe was just waiting for him to do that. He'd scouted it. He knows that if you're going to do a spinning back fist to me, you have to turn your back to Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe calmly raised his arm to block it and into the coquina clutch. And it was almost like you watched Eddie Kingston go, screwed that up. Should have known better. Like, it was like, while he was in the coquina clutch, I felt him being like, that was my mistake. I had him. I should never have tried to hit that move on him, because Samoa Joe is too smart of a wrestler for that. Afterwards, after he weakly tapped out, he didn't fall asleep, but it wasn't an immediate tap out. He fought to try and get out of it, but he couldn't. Him lying there, you could tell, because who is Eddie Kingston's harshest critic? Among all the people who called him a fat ass and said he was never going to amount to anything, Eddie's harshest critic is always Eddie Kingston. You could feel him lying on the mat saying, fuck that up. You know what I mean? Like, it's so beautiful for him, because he has those moments that make us want to root for him more.
We've got Love for Boost saying MJF is cashing in for revenge at Worlds. And I mean, listen, WrestleVotes on WrestleVotes Live on FightfulSelect.com. Please subscribe. On Monday said that he was factored into Worlds End plans. Don't know when he's coming back yet. It would make sense. I mean, he would need to come back at least a week before, right? Mm-hmm. So if they were doing that. Oh, guys, I want to thank you all so much. Got a lot of schedule adjustments coming up because, listen, obviously Alex and I are not going to be here Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. We are not going to be on the shows those evenings. I probably won't do a Dynamite show that week, because immediately after that, there's going to be World's End and Collision and all that stuff. So we'll figure something out, but head over to FightfulSelect.com. I can't express to you guys how important it is to support us directly in what we do. Even if you don't care about the exclusive news, Alex does a bunch of shows over there. I do a bunch of shows over there. I'm adding some more shows specifically to talk the in-ring element of wrestling. I've got one called SRS 10 that will be coming up monthly, where we rewatch together a match I've rated 10 out of 10. I'm going to have exclusive predictions and preview shows over there. We've got WrestleVote twice a week, 3 times this week, because they got a special John Cena show this week as well. Of course, they're going to have a bunch of scoops Thursday. I got the Debunkathon Friday, Scoops Thread Saturday. All over the place, my friends. Alex, tell the people what you got going on.
You can find me over on Fightful Select and reviewing Raw, hopefully not much longer by myself. Kate will be back soon. Kate will be with me, as far as I know, to review John Cena's last match and Obafemi's first on the main roster. Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes. Oba's cutting promos about how he is a biblical flood. I'm all for it. Let's see what he does against Cody. Should be a lot of fun beyond just the John Cena thing. They're making these NXT exhibitions seem like must-see TV for Saturday night's main event. So we'll review that. And then beyond, we'll see. Like maybe there might be a little extra paywall AEW reviews, not timely right after the Christmas Eve, but maybe the end of that weekend we'll talk about, because they got to do some stuff. There are major C2 matches that are going to happen on Christmas Eve. They have to, in order to set up what's going to happen in the semifinals. Maybe on the 26th. Maybe there'll be a little C2 math, a little final C2 math show. We'll see.
Guys, thank you all. Actually, N. Simmons is glad to see wrestlers tapping out again. I've hated the don't want to tap out gimmick. You're losing oxygen to your brain. Yes, I am so exhausted of just, they're always going to pass out. Always? Okay. But I mean, I'll tell you what I really hate. People passing out in moves that aren't chokes and you're not losing blood.
No.
I can tell you how many times across years and years and years of catch wrestling I saw that.
Yeah, 0.
We had the hump with Joel Pearl today. I ranted about John Cena and The Rock. Go check that out.